Hi everyone. So in this video, I'll be doing something different from what I have been doing so far. Okay, so I'll be talking about algorithm in programming. Algorithm is important for any developer, especially if you are looking to work for a large corporation or a large company. Okay, so I'll be solving three questions like you can see on the screen, and then I'll be solving three questions like I said, and it will be like from easy to hard. Okay, so like number one will be a bit easy, that's for junior developers and beginners. Then the second one will be a bit harder, right? So yeah, so this is going to be the second one. It will be a bit harder. Then the last one will be on the intermediate level. Okay, so like I said, so that's what we'll be doing today, right? So what we want to do is for the first one we'll be talking about um, reverse how to reverse a string in JavaScript. Okay, so you can see the question. So this is how the question for algorithm usually looks like, and so you can be given something like this in an interview and they will expect you to do justice to it, right? So question one, it says write a function that takes a string as input and returns the string reverse. So this is quite simple. So what I'll be doing is to do this without using the built-in methods. There's a built-in method for reverse string, which is reverse dot reverse. Okay, but then I want to try and solve this without using that. Okay, so what we'll be doing here is to try and solve it without building built-in methods. Okay, so what we'll do is we already have our function and we have str passed as a parameter, and then so what we can do is we'll loop through the strings backward. Okay, because what we want to do is to return the reverse of a string. So but then we want to declare a string variable, right? You can say let reverse string, then we can make it equal to an empty string. Okay, because that way we want to store the value of our reverse string. Okay, so I'll say for, then I'll say let I equal to the string, sorry, I'll have to do the string dot length, string dot length. Okay, then I want it to be -1. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I want to take the length of the string, then I want to minus it by 1. Okay, that's to have the last number. Okay, then I want the loop to continue as long as I is greater or equal to is greater or equal to 0. Yes, as long as is equal or greater than 0, I want the loop to return. Then I want to decrement the loop. So this is like the opposite of increment. Okay, so there is a reverse way of looping through a value, and there is also a way to increment a value in JavaScript. So what we'll be doing here is I want to now reassign the reversed string. Sorry, so it should be reversed string. Then I want to use the addition assignment. Okay, then I want it to equal to the value of str. All right, so with this we have reversed our string, then we have stored the value inside the reverse string. So what we'll do here is a function must have a return value, so what we'll do is to return the reversed string. Yeah, so that's it. So what we have done here is we have taken the parameter of string, we first save a reverse string as an empty array, sorry, as an empty string where we'll be storing our values subsequently. Then we are using a for loop to loop through the str, which is a string. Then we say let I equals to str dot length, okay, minus 1. Okay, then we say I, as long as that loop should continue as long as I is greater or equal to 0. So when when I equals 0, then the loop stop, and then we are decrementing the value of I as we move on. Okay, so then we are storing that value inside a reverse string, then we are returning the reverse string. Okay, so that's how that works. Then to get the result, we can say const result equals to reverse. Okay, we can do reverse string. Then from reverse string, add a string and say hello. All right. I think so. Next, we want to do console.log results. Okay, I think we are getting undefined. I need to check why we are having that undefined. Okay, so this is a reverse string and we are getting the str. Okay, and then what are we doing wrong here? I need to find out. Sorry, I'm sorry. I find out that why we were having undefined is because we still have the reverse string declared here as a function. So what we'll do here is to comment this out, and yeah, we have our result, which is hello. Then, but because we have reversed it, it has overturned the text. We now have ole, right? Instead of HELOO, we now have OLLEH. So with that, we have done a reverse, and we have returned that reverse back to us. So if you encounter any interview question in algorithm like this is the best way to approach it. If you are told not to use any built-in method at all. Okay, so that will take us to the next one. So to make sure we are not having that issue again, I will have to comment this out. So here I will want to use the built-in method now to do this, so that I can show you guys that there are also other ways of doing this. So the first implementation actually will yield a result of O of n square, which means when you are working with a large string, it might cause the program to be a bit slow because as it loops through the values of the string. Okay, but this built-in operator that I'm about to use will yield the result of O of n, which is, so what I've been trying to explain is on time complexity of the implementations. So as you move on, you'll be understanding that more. Right, so for that I will want to do that's not to add, you can just return string, which is the str, but str you will not be able to use the dot reverse method on it, because the reverse method only works on an array. Okay, but here we are talking about a string, so you have to first change it into a string before you can have access to the value. So how do we do that? Is to split the string, right? You use dot split, which is also a built-in method for JavaScript, and then you can split it by the string. Okay, so after you've done that, then you do your dot reverse on it, which will reverse the values of the string. Okay, after then we can join it so that we can have our string back, right? So it will convert, the join will convert it from array back to string. Okay, so what we just did here by using split is to convert it from string to an array of string. Okay, but then after we do our reverse, which is the operation we are trying to do on it, then we use the join to convert it from the array of string back to a string. Okay, so that's how that works. So I can just copy this and then paste it here, then I can remove the comments. Okay, so I think we didn't have it the way we, okay, sorry, I think we have to, yeah, so that's it. The mistake I made here is I left a space in the middle of my string, which is not what we want to do. So it's just a string without the space. Okay, so that's it on reversing strings in JavaScript, and I hope you understand this, and if it comes up in any of your interview, you'll be able to ace it without any errors. Okay, so that's it. Now we move to the next question, which is question 2, and I'm going to read out the question. It says write a function to search all numbers from inclusive 1 to inclusive a given number x that have the given digit d in it. The value of d will always be 0 to 9. The value of x will always be greater than 0. You have to return an array. Okay, you have to return as an array the count of these numbers, their sum, and the product. Okay, so I think the question itself is explicit or explanatory itself. Okay, so and as we can see, we already have the function numbers with digits inside. Okay, so without further ado, let's delve into it. So first, because we'll be using a while loop, I want to first define the I to be equal to 1. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is we need a value for count, because we want to return these numbers, the count of these numbers. Okay, then we say 0 for that. Then want to return their sum. Okay, then here sum is equal to 0. Okay, then next we want to return their product, which is exponential. Okay, I will say I wanted to use products, but let's just say m. Okay, but then we can use product for this. Okay, and we say equal to 0. All right, so that's it. So like I said we'll be using while loop to loop through the implementation, right? So what we'll be looping through will be the I. Okay, we're looping through I, and as long as I is less than or equal to x, right, then we want to set a condition for that. So the condition will be that I is converted to a string. We want first convert it to a string. After that, we want to check if it includes. Okay, so we converted to string so that we can use dot include on it, because dot include is a string method. Okay, so that's it. Then we want to add the d. Okay, so that's it. Next, we want to do a curly bracket. So the curly bracket, we want to increment count for each of the loop. Okay, and that's what we want to do is to sum the values of I. Okay, sorry, that's I. Okay, then the next thing is to get our product. Okay, at each loop. Okay, so that's also I. Okay, so that's it. So the next thing we'll be doing is, after the condition is set, we want to always increment the I. Okay, then we want to return our array. Okay, so we're going to use that, do that by saying return. Then we want to check if there is count. Then we want to return the array of count, the sum, and the product. Yes, and the product. Then if there is no count, we want to just return 0, 0, 0. So that's it. Okay, so what we try to do there is to handle the edge cases where there is no count at all. Okay, so at that point, we just want to return array of zeros. Okay, so that's it. I hope you understand the logic of how we got here, and how we were able to solve this. So I said, so like, okay, I said we use a while loop after setting all of our variables that is important to this particular implementation. Then we change I to string because I will be a number. Then we want to check if the value of t is included in the I, right? So if it's included, then that is where we want to perform all of this. Then after the condition is set, then we want to increment I for the next um yeah, so for the next loop. Okay, so yeah, that's it. And we need to get our results. Okay, so I can say const output. Let's say output now. Okay, then I want to say numbers with digits inside. Okay, so number with digits inside. Then I want to say x is 11 and d is 1. Then I want to console the log output. All right, so that's it. We have 322 and 0. Okay, so I'm hoping that should be correct for this particular implementation, right? Let me see. I think 322. Okay, I'm thinking maybe there is an issue with this, right? And then I'm trying to check if there is any issue actually. Okay, so we have count, right? Should be plus plus. Then okay, so yeah, I think there's a problem. We had 0 to this instead of 1. All right, so because I was thinking that the product of 11 and 1 should not be 0. Okay, because at the first instance I think we are supposed to have um, 1, then we have 10, then 11, right? Then for the product we are supposed to have 1 times 10, which is 10. Then you to understand what I'm trying to do, right? I think in the first instance this is going to be 1, 10 and 11. Okay, and 11, right? And then at the second instance, that is when it is adding the sum becomes 22, because if you sum the three numbers together you get 22, right? And then next, the next one, it says 1 times 10, which is 10, and then we have 10 times 11, which is 110. So that is why I was trying to check if we are actually very correct in our implementation. All right, so that's it guys. That's how you can solve a question like this. So the real logic or the real idea behind or how you can make things very simple while solving algorithm is you knowing method of numbers, methods of strings, and all of that. So with that, the algorithm becomes very simple and understandable when you understand those methods. All right, so that's it. Okay, so let's move to the last question, which is question 3. So for question 3, the question says write a function that takes an array of integers and the target sum as input. The function should return all unique pairs of integers in the array that add up to the target sum. Okay, so this is like a more advanced question than the other two that we have treated in this video. Okay, so what I want to do here is we'll be using some couple of methods in this particular implementation. Okay, so first I want to have a scene variable to know the variables that we have already traversed through in the array. Okay, so I'll say scene equals new sets. I'm using new sets so that we have unique values of the number. Okay, so I want to also do const pairs. So I'll also be storing unique pairs. Okay, so see new set. All right. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to use for of loop to loop through the norms array. Okay, so I'll say for let norm of norms, then open my curly brackets. Okay, so first I want to get my complement. Okay, so I want to say const complement. Yeah, complement it will be target minus norm. Okay, then I want to set a condition. So the condition is I want to know if the complement is inside of the scene values. Okay, so that's what I want to do. So I want to say scene dot, there's a method which is as in JavaScript. Then I want to check if it has the complement. Okay, so I want to check if it has the complement. Then I call the bracket. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to have another variable, and I want to call it pair. Okay, that is a number pair. Okay, then yeah, I want to have an array of norm, the norm and the complement. Okay, the norm and the complement. I want to sort it from the large to the lowest. Okay, from the higher to the lowest. Okay, which is ascending order. Okay, so I'll say a b. Okay, then I'll say a and b. So that's how to sort an array uh, in ascending order. Okay, so I want to also add that to the pairs. Okay, so there is a dot add for sets. Okay, then I want to add the pair that I'm getting from the pair in line 58. Okay, so pair, then I want to change it to a string. Okay, that's the method. Okay, right, so that's that. Then I want to come outside of the if statement. Then I want to add the pair, right? I want to add the norm. Sorry, I want to add the norm to scene. That means we have seen that number before, right? So I want to say norm. Okay, so I want to add it to scene. Okay, then I want to return our values of the pair, the unique pairs that can add up to the target sum. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get the array dot from, so we want to get the array dot from the pairs. Okay, I want to get the arrays, then I want to map through those pairs. Okay, dot map. Okay, then I want to get the pair, which is one element inside of the array. Okay, then I'll say that a function. Then I want to say pair dot split. I'll change it to string of array, so dot split will do that for us. Okay, then I want to split it by the comma. Okay, I'll split it by the comma. Then what I want to do next is I want to map through the splitted array. Okay, then I want to change each of the elements inside of the array. I want to change it to a number. Okay, so that's it. With this we should be able to get a valid with results for this. So I can say const let me look for a value that we can actually use for this. Okay, so yeah, so let me just say console.log. All right, before we console.log, let's have a const. Let's put that into a variable first. Then I want to say result 1. should be equal to find pairs. So in the pairs, we first need an array. Okay, so we need an array. Trying to check the numbers that can actually work better for this. Okay. Okay. Then 8. Then I want to have the target as 9. Okay, so let's check that and see. Then I want to console the log result one. Okay, so I think this works. We have three possible pairs that can add up to the target sum. Target sum is 9, and here the first array we have 4 and 5. 4 and 5 can, if you add it, 4 plus 5 you get 9. If you add 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 7 you get 9, and if you add 3 plus 6 we get 9. So that's it. So what we did here, what this array tried to say is that we should look for two numbers, all the two numbers that can be summed up together to have 9. Okay, so these are all of the possible pairs that can sum up to 9. So that's it. Thank you for being a part of this class. See you in the next class.